Hello, this is Cheryl Wilson, Abstract Artist. Today I'm going to talk to you about 10 things to not do in your art journey. A couple months back, I did a video on 10 steps to start your art journey. These are things not to do in your art journey, and believe me, I've had plenty of practice in this, and I'm thinking that a lot of you might relate. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. I do art videos, paintings on abstract paintings. I do technique, and sometimes I do a studio chat, and that's what this is. So thank you, and without further ado, let's get started. 1, don't wait until you're in the mood to create or paint. Just go in there and do something. Look through your old art journals, do some drawings, look through some of your old art books or your new art books to help you get inspired. Look at your own art. Just go through the pages and just look at some of the little sheets that you've done. 2, don't wait until things are perfect in your studio, because they never will be. Make every moment count. Your supplies aren't going to be perfect. Your paintbrushes aren't going to be perfect. You're not going to have the right paper. You're going to be a mess in your studio. You're not going to have enough pastels or spray paints. Don't let that stop you. 3, don't let your inner critic have time in your space. I've talked about this in many of my other videos. Don't let your inner critic talk you out of being authentically you. Create what you want, how you want, learn along the way, but do not let your inner critic get you down. There's many aspects to this, and I may do another entire video just on this one topic. But be yourself, be authentically you. 4, do not compare yourself to other artists. Your style is your style, and another artist is their style. This is something many of us do. Many of us do this repetitively over and over again. Sometimes we get it under control, and then we do it again. You are a unique artist. Your uniqueness and what you're bringing to your journey and to the world is so uniquely yours. And embrace that. There's going to be times in your art journey that something is going to take you in a different direction. Go with that. Allow that to happen in your life. But don't compare yourself to other artists, because that will actually keep you in a plateau place and you can't grow. Once you just embrace the fact that your art, and not everyone's going to like your art, but there's going to be people who will love your art. That's what you need to focus on and capitalize on and grow in your unique style. I hope that makes sense, because it's really important. 5, don't let those in your life that don't support you get you down. I do live with an engineer that doesn't understand my art, and I've had to respect my timing with him in my life, to spend time with him. I've been married almost 40 years, so I do have some say-so in that. But what I'm trying to say here is the support from him being an engineer in my art journey is not as supportive as I would like. When I first started in my art journey, that really bothered me. We learned to come to a compromise, but I have learned he is not going to understand my art. I am not going to ask him what he thinks of my abstract painting, because he likes realism, and he's going to tell me he doesn't like my abstract paintings. So he doesn't support in the way that I think that he should. He doesn't take videos of my art journey with me on YouTube. It's not his thing. I've had to learn to put my art passion and journey where it belongs in my life, and not let the fact that he is not a part of my life in the way that I initially thought it would be, and I am okay with that. I hope that makes sense because it's really important. If you need to get your support from people, find other artists that are just as passionate in the art journey as you are and find ways to connect with them. But don't let the fact that the people that are around you, don't let them get you down, don't let them stop you, don't let them tell you you can't do this. Because my mother years ago told me not to do art. She was an academician and she told me to be in an educated field, and I did. And I waited for years. I got degrees and certifications and owned my own company, and I waited for years. And then when I realized that art was such an important part of my life, that's when I realized that how important it was in my life. And I hope that makes sense. Number 6, don't be afraid of the feeling, I don't know what I'm doing, because this is going to happen. It's going to actually happen when you go through cycles in your art journeys. Definitely going to happen when you're in your first maybe 100 paintings. I say 100 because that's kind of where I was. But don't be afraid of being in that space. We all have this feeling from time to time. Just start, take risk. Taking risks leads you to incredible creative moments. Don't be afraid of making art pieces that are hard for you to do. You're going to get to that middle point where you don't know what to do or where to go. This painting right here, a lot of people look at this and say it's ugly. But I learn a lot by doing this because I'm using my brush and making small brush strokes, large brush strokes, taking risks, trying different things, adding that pop of orange. All these things are all within the realm of saying, I don't know what I'm doing. But the key is to say, but I'm not afraid to try it. So this is a big one. I keep thinking all of them are big. I mean, each one individually are important, but each one individually are important. So this is another big one. Don't be afraid. Just get in there and do it. 7, don't stop if you truly want this. We've all been to that point. Every artist I've ever known, I've talked to, has said that there's been points in their art journey that they have wondered if they should stop, but don't stop. Keep going. Find other ways to get past the pauses in your art journey. A pause is not bad. I put out a video about 2 months ago where I went down to the beach and I did a lot of walking and a lot of thinking about things. And that pause was very good because there was a lot of note taking that I did and thinking about what I wanted, and thinking and taking a pause helps you get past these. But there's things you can do, but don't stop if you truly want this. 8, don't ask others their opinion of your art or paintings if they don't understand your style. This series is called the Torn series, and it's done on paper. And when I put this out, I had some really positive feedback on this series, and I even sold a couple of the pieces. But there were some people that did not understand it. I did not ask their opinion, and I knew not to. I go back to the story about my husband. He loves realism. If you put like a painting of a bowl of fruit in front of him, he would love it. That's the style. He actually has a couple of my paintings in his office, which I think are truly just touch my heart. He feels that's his way of supporting me, but my style of art is he doesn't understand it. I don't ask him. I don't ask opinions of people who don't understand. This Torn series was a very emotional, raw moment in my life when I found out a health situation that it's over now, but I had to deal with. And so the art was helpful to me. But if you ask others what they think about your art, and you know that they don't like your style of art, you're opening the door for them to give you a head scratch and go, I just don't know what you're doing there. So I think you understand what I'm saying. Stick with people who understand your art. Don't ask people who don't understand your art. Don't ask them to give you an opinion, because it may not be what you want. 9, don't be afraid to post your work. Now, you'll know when you feel comfortable doing this, but don't be afraid to. In one of my past videos, I talked about joining groups on Facebook and being a part of communities that are safe. But I have a Facebook, I have an Instagram, I have a Pinterest site, and I will post my art out there. I did post my art earlier than when I actually was selling my art. I posted it to start. I felt comfortable to do that. So do it. It's a way of exposing yourself. People love to see an artist grow from their beginning stages through when they start to sell their art, and then when they become a more seasoned artist. Then at some point, join galleries, either in person or mine or online. It's a great way to show your art. And number 10, don't be afraid to keep a journal or a list of the things you love in your artwork. What you're going to need this for is when you get stuck, and you will get stuck along the way. It happens to me, it happens to all the artists I know. This list will remind you of some of the things, some of the markings, some of the tools that you like to use that you can put in your artwork. For instance, I like the infinity figure. I like a lot of texture. I like black and white. I have black and white almost in all my paintings. And sometimes when I'm stuck, I have to look at this list to say, oh yeah, I add some more black and white, more contrast. There's a tool, a couple tools that I love, and you'll see those markings in a lot of my art. I love dripping in my paintings. Those are the things that I have on my list that really help me go back. And I cannot tell you how important this is as you grow your art journey year after year after year, repeating some of these things that you like in your art and having a journal to keep track, or just a list. I have a list on my board that says things I love, and I will look up there periodically and say, oh, you know what, I need to add that. Because when you're in the middle of creating and you need something to just keep you going or get you unstuck, this list has really been helpful to me. So I hope this has been helpful to you, the 10 things to not do in your art journey. I hope one or two, if not all 10 of them, will be helpful to you. They were points that have been helpful to me. I remind myself, it was just a good reminder even to do this to help myself in my journey. But I will have a link below to my PayHip account. It's a place where I put art tools. I keep a very small payment. Some things are free, some things are $1 or $2. They're tools that I use, they're templates I use. There's some one that's a bunch of art prompts that you can cut out and play like a little game where you cut them out and then you pull one or two, and that's what you put on your art. There's some contracts that I have drawn up that feel free to use what I've done. I have an artist invoice. Anyway, you'll see if you go out to the link below. But I hope you've enjoyed this. Please give me a thumbs up. YouTube is still trying to grow I guess I'm trying to grow my channel, but YouTube has been kind to me in the last week, but I still need the thumbs up, the comments, etc. It helps me grow. So thank you for coming back. If you're new, welcome. I hope not to let any of you down in what I put out there for you. My goal is just to be there for you and help. So I hope this has been helpful, and just let me know which one of the points that you seem to resonate with. So take care until the next video. Love you.